Welcome to the channel, everyone. Today is an awesome day because I finally pulled trig on a cabin. I bought a cabin. I have it coming here. It's a 4 to 5 week lead time. It is the company that I went and we looked and we saw that blue one that I really liked. I basically got that one, but with a custom paint job, a couple different options that one didn't have. And yeah, I got it custom, so it's gonna be brand new, fresh out of the factory, and it should be here in 4 to 5 weeks. So it is kind of a long time, but you guys know the supply chain crisis, yada, 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 all this nonsense. So I'm happy about it. It will be here like early September, I think. So it's not gonna be that bad. I'll have it before the winter actually starts and before snow starts coming down. So I'm stoked on that. But yeah, today is the last day with the excavator, and I'm gonna treat it like it is the end of a really long 2-day drift event, right? There's still another hour or two left, and you've been getting doors all day, but instead of driving for that extra hour, you know, you and the boys decide, you know, we did good, and we're gonna start packing up a little early so that, like, we don't get caught in, like, that lunch rush of everyone trying to leave at the very end. So that's what I'm doing. I don't really want to start a new project, open up another can of worms at the moment, so I'm just gonna let it sit for its final 24 hours. But yeah, cabin coming, and in this video we're gonna talk about how to do this whole off-grid lifestyle for cheap, because look at Carlos go. Now that I have a cabin on its way, it's becoming more and more real for me here. We're just gonna chit chat a little bit about how this whole off-grid tiny home bug out thing, like this whole thing is very doable for cheaper than you guys think. So we'll hop on the computer in a second, but I just got to comb through the excavator and make sure everything's looking good in there for the pickup. Well, I mean, this thing's definitely been good to me. It was a good time, but if I'm being brutally honest, I'm happy to see it go. I just want it gone. You know, it's too much of a liability for me. I'm not freaking with the extra liability, worrying about breaking someone else's machine and this, that, and the other thing. And maybe in another video, maybe in tomorrow's video or something, probably not tomorrow, but at some point I'll do like a general recap on this thing. And yeah, that's really it on the excavator at the moment. Or actually, it's really it on the excavator forever. So not peace out like middle of the video, but peace out to the Case CX 57C. Thing was really fun to use. It was really good. This rental company is super chill, and yeah, it all worked out. Maybe next time I come up here I'll bring the weed whacker, but I don't really know, because I feel like once it starts getting cold out, which is not that long, I feel like all this stuff dies pretty quick, and then first snowfall it's all flat. So I don't know, we'll see how it goes. Maybe I'll bring the weed whacker. All right, so now on to the how to search for land part of this video. I mean, this is pretty obvious. So we're starting off here on landwatch.com, and we're just gonna kind of thumb through some land for sale just to give you guys an idea of how you could do this for cheap. So we're literally gonna click price low to high, and we're gonna see what's going on here. We'll do custom price minimum of like $2 grand. Just to weed out some of these like spam ad looking ones. All right, so as you can see, we got 1.36 acres in Pierce, Arizona, but it's literally in the middle of the desert. $2,200. Personally, I'm not freaking with the desert biome. I personally like the tree biome, or I'm not really sure. There's many types of tree biome, right? There's like the PNW style trees, and then there's like East Coast style trees, which are pretty different. So you're gonna have to kind of figure out what biome you like. So I automatically know that I wouldn't buy anything like this out west. I wouldn't buy anything deserty. I mean, if you guys are from the desert area and you grew up like being comfortable with this kind of deserty look, and you're comfortable with buying 1.26 acres for $2,500, I mean, then that's probably the absolute cheapest way to do it. But it's not the way that I recommend. The way that I personally would recommend, which I don't give financial advice, I'm just saying what I would personally do, is I'd look for a piece of land that has like trees. Like, you want, that's like a sign of life, you know what I mean? Anything. So what's like, I can't recommend too far up north, like Maine, New Hampshire, Vermont, because you have to like the cold for that kind of stuff. And I don't really want to go down too far south because some people really don't like the heat of down south. So just to make this video easy and like happy middle grounds, we're going to pick something kind of central, maybe North Carolina. I feel like North Carolina's got a pretty good biome balance. So let's see what we got in North Carolina. Look at this. We got 1.03 acre for 5 Gs. Like, how much you have to determine how much room do you really need? Like, because if you're just gonna plop down like a tiny home and maybe like a super small garage, then 1 acre is more than enough. You don't really need more than an acre if you're gonna keep your operation small. But if you plan on in the future, like doing like a homestead type thing, like having chickens, a big garden, maybe you want to dig up a little pond so you have natural like water storage, then I would say maybe look for 5+, maybe 10+, depending on your budget. But we're just kind of scrolling through North Carolina here. So we got 1.2 acres for 15 Gs. Let's take a look at this. Let's see what's going on here. So you could see there's a neighbor, so that means there's probably power on this street and like city water and sewage, which if you don't want to do the whole like off-grid, like gotta get your own water, you have no choice but to do solar and stuff, this could be an option for you. And let's see, Franklin, NC. Let's see, are there more photos? Franklin, NC. I mean, okay, wow, this is a pretty good looking map here of the situation. Yeah, I mean, I'm just spitballing ideas here. And obviously, if you want, you could kind of look around. I just picked North Carolina as just an example. Like, we'll pick a new state because we could get more than 15 grand, but this video is supposed to be keeping it like somewhat cheap. Let's check Virginia because this is how to go off grid for cheap. So, look at this, 4.61 acres for $9,000. Deep discount. 4.608 acre, beautiful land, Heathersville, or I don't even know what the fuck town that is, Heathsville, VA. Yeah, that's pretty sick. Look at this, 2.17 acres for $9,800. And it's already got water. Look, would not be difficult to put a driveway in and build your dream home. So that's pretty sick. This one's straight thicket of trees. Look, 1.19 acres for $12,000. Look at this right here, 4.28 acres for 14 Gs. See, now we're talking. This is like some decent deal action right here. Like, you want, if you're going to be dropping like a larger amount like this, because you can't really finance this stuff unless you have a fat credit card, then you could just pay for it like that. But if you are trying to pay cash for it, that's why I'm trying to keep the prices down, because part of going off grid is kind of having no bills. So you really want to buy your land in cash like this. That's why, as part of the how to go off grid for cheap, we're trying to keep the pricing down. So look at this, 13.24 acres for $18,200. Let's take a look. Available too. It's not under contract or anything. Let's see. Oh, it's like you're probably buying this sloped hillside, or does this road come with it? All right, see, this could be clickbait. See, you got to weed out these Ganj ones like that. You don't want to jump the gun on something stupid like that. This one looks pretty good. 2.16 acre, and look at this. You got a nice flat clearing already. You can't even tell. Oh my God. Someone scoop this before this sells. 16,500, 2.16 acres. Dude, you could drop a tiny home down here immediately. Literally just make a little gravel pad right there. Oh, wow, dude. It looks flat, but pictures could be deceiving, obviously. You don't want to jump the gun. Like, if you're going to drop fucking 17 Gs or whatever, like, you got to go there and look at it. You got to at least go look at it. Like, but yeah, this is an example of something that I'd be interested in. This is definitely tickling my fancy. These photos look good because even if you don't want to do a tiny home, you could put like an RV here. You could do van life right there. You could build a schoolie right there. Like, mad shit can go right here. So this is like shipping container. Like, you could literally get the smallest shed from Lowe's, plop it there. But yeah. So obviously there is no like super cheap way to do it, right? Like, if you were expecting for me to have this video and be like, oh yeah, for like under 10 grand you could do it. I mean, under 10 grand if you want to go live in Arizona in the desert, sure. But if you want to like have trees and like, I don't know how to explain it. Like, I personally wouldn't want to do desert, which is why I'm like steering you guys away from that. So now that we got the conversation of the land out of the way, we got to talk a little bit about the structure here. You could build a cabin yourself for really cheap if you want to go watch Bush Radical on YouTube. He has done multiple builds where he has literally dragged lumber like into the woods. He got a little like portable looking sawmill thing, was cutting down trees, making boards out of his own wood that he cut off the property. Like, if you want to do it like that, yes, you could do it for super cheap. I have no experience doing that, so I can't even spew about it. Like, I don't want to recommend that method because I've never done it. But if you know for a fact your carpentry skills are fire and that project, like, isn't daunting to you, then run it that way. But me, I like these because they're somewhat affordable and you just plop them right down. All you got to do is make a flat-ish spot, which I talked to them, and your spot doesn't even have to be flat. It could be off by 3 feet on either side of elevation change, and they will level it up to 3 feet off on either side. So that means you have to do even less site work. That's why I really like these, but I could see how these are not for everyone. They're not super cheap, but I think they're pretty affordable for what you get. So this is the exact model of that one that I filmed, that blue one at that tiny home spot at the mall. I have all the pricing right here as well. So for this exact model right here, all the prices are right here. I'm not going to go over every single one, but look right there for yourselves. And then you can, whatever this number you get here is in the middle here, you add that much or that much depending on what style front end you want. Do you want like this more like basic flatter looking one? Do you want a super basic looking one like that where it's like all flat and like, I'm not saying that this is ugly, but I'm saying that this is way more like photogenic. Like, I'll smile when I see that. That's just like, oh, sick. Like, there's my little cabin in the woods. But this, I'm like, yeah, that's fucking baller looking. So this is the one that I got. And so how it works is you just pick a size. Like, for example, if you want a 12 by 24, it's $10,725, and you just add this. So it would be what? So for 10,700 plus 17, I'm too dumb for that. So let's just pull up a calculator for the 12 by 24, 10,700 plus 1765. For $12,465, you get this gangster ass looking thing, and the paint job is free. And here's the colors you get to pick from. So you get to pick, here's the roof colors, here's the side colors, or you could leave it raw like that and paint it yourself, or do whatever, or just leave it raw and never paint it, or whatever. That's up to you. But yeah, that's the number you're looking at there for that, and you could go even cheaper. You don't have to get the $1,700 package. You could just get the package for $965. So we'll do that again, 10,700 plus 965. So for $11,600, you get this right here. You get this looking one. So for that price and that size of a structure, I think that you can't really argue with like the convenience of these. But yeah, so, and then obviously you got, when you get it, you got to insulate it, do your own interior, furnish it. That's all on you as well. So that's going to add maybe a couple more thousand to the price. So, you know, building, we're at, let's just call it maybe 13 G's, and then land, maybe we can, what should we settle at? 18, the calculator. So let's just round the land to 18,000 plus the 13,000 roughly for the building, which these are all just estimates, by the way. So for 31,000, dude, for the price of a used car in 2022, I mean, a nice used car, but still, there's used cars that are way more than that aren't even like special. Like a used fucking RAV4 Prime, like, is way more money than that. And for 31 G's, you could literally have like your own land like this. You could have literally 3.15 acres and one of these houses. And you can't forget that's also just kind of like the starter price. So you're gonna obviously have to add more for like water tanks, a Cinderella toilet, what else? Like solar panels, batteries, all that stuff is gonna add up. So I don't know, maybe for 50,000, should we just call it for under 50 G's or under 40 G's, you could do it. And I know that sounds like a lot of money, but it's in the grand scheme of things in 2022, it's really not that bad considering, like I said, there's like basic cars, like not even special ones. There are just normal daily driver cars going for more money than that. So that's how I'm looking at it. Would you rather have a nice ass daily or 4 acres off grid and a sick playhouse? And also, you have to have realistic expectations. Like, the off-grid lifestyle isn't this, like, mythical, or, like, how do I word it? Like, I feel like it's, like, this fantasy lifestyle that people want to live, but don't realize how ganj it is, for lack of a better term. Like, people don't understand that the off-grid lifestyle is low-key ganj. Like, you have to be okay with, like, when it's too hot out, you're sweating your sack off. Right? How many people are actually comfortable with that? Or when it's, well, I mean, when it's too cold out, that's really easy to deal with. You just get like a nice like fireplace going. And then there's obviously the property tax issue. So you kind of have to have some kind of side gig going on if you're gonna, you know, sell everything you own, save up for a couple years, and then do the land method, house method. Like, if you had 50 G's in cash to go buy everything that I just showed you, you'd be off to a really good start. But you know what I mean? Like, your property tax is not going to be free. So that you have to factor in as well. Like I said, I'm trying to give you guys the pros and the cons. There's a lot of pros, like the whole like debt-free lifestyle, yada, yada, yada. Also, the old Hickory buildings thing. Do not be tempted for their rent-to-own program. If you literally do the calculations on the monthly payment, so they're like down the right side of the column there, and it's like for 48-month term or whatever. But if you do the math, you're literally getting zoinked because cash price will be like 12 G's. But then if you do the math on the payments over the 48 months, it's like 22,000. Like they're screwing you super, super bad if you do that method. So don't be tempted by any bullshit like that. When you see like rent-to-own programs and shit like that, they are out to get you. Don't take on debt. The whole point of the off-grid lifestyle, fantasy, magical lifestyle is to have no bills, basically. Like, other than there's shit you're not going to be able to get away with. Even if like you have like your solar and all this other shit, and like you got a nice water source, you're not going to be able to get around like a Starlink bill, a phone bill, what else? Property tax, like I said, car insurance, right? Health insurance. You're not going to be able to escape that kind of stuff. So you got to figure out what you want to do. And that's on you. There's many online hustles. It's 2022. All right. Anyway, I'm just rambling really bad. Let's just kind of get to the end here. So there's a lot of pros and cons with the whole off-grid lifestyle. It's really up to you if you can stomach the lifestyle, or if you want to dip your toes in it. I wouldn't go head first and sell everything you own and put your life savings into some 3-acre property type thing. I wouldn't do that. Unless you know for a fact that you want to live the lifestyle, because it's not for everyone. Yeah, this is just like a, I don't know, like a recap, or like, I'm basically giving you like a formula. I'm giving you one formula. There are many. There are lots of formulas for this. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this ramble type thing. This is going to be my last day in Maine for a little bit. I'm heading back to Connecticut tonight. And yeah, we'll see what's up with the boys when we get back.